Hi, I'm Nisha DeGaring, host of Good Things Utah, and I've been a longtime supporter of Todd's Beliefcast. I hope you find inspiration in the courageous stories shared by the amazing people Todd features on his show. The guests serve as shoulders for us to stand on, allowing us to see a little further and cultivate belief in oneself. Remember, you have the dignity and power to change. I encourage you to keep striving and believing in yourself. Enjoy today's podcast.
We are back. This is Todd Sylvester with the Todd Inspires Beliefcast. Thank you once again for tuning in. I can't thank you guys enough for all your support. It really does mean the world to me. Also, thanks to my sponsors that you just heard. They are the best, and I wouldn't be able to do this without them. And then the beautiful music, again, by my good friend Paul Cardall. He's the best. So thank you, Paul, for your beautiful music. And today we are joined by Laura Como. Laura, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I can't wait for our listeners to get to know you better. But a little background on Laura. She, let's see, remarkable BodyTalk practitioner. Did I saying that right?
Correct.
Just wanted to make sure. An intuitive healer who is transforming lives through her holistic approach to wellness. Through her practice, Light and Wellness, Laura helps individuals around the world heal, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And I can't wait to get more into that. Understanding that true healing goes far beyond the surface. She's also the founder of My Natural Healer, a global directory that connects people with alternative healing and modalities and practitioners, empowering them to take control of their well-being. Laura's passion for integrative healing and her ability to guide others through profound transformation is truly inspiring. I can't wait for you guys to hear everything. So grateful that you're here. Grateful for our good friend Jules for lining this all up. So shout out to her. We all love her.
Yes, we do.
And so let's dive in. Why don't we start off, Laura? Tell us where you grew up and maybe a little bit about your childhood.
Okay. Yeah, so I grew up in southern Idaho in a farming community.
Okay.
And I would say I am a product of both of my parents.
Okay.
I'm a farmer's daughter, so I grew up with that really strong work ethic. And then my mother owned a daycare when I was a child. So as the oldest, I have a half brother that's older, but he was with us part-time. So I was sort of like the oldest.
Okay, yeah.
I was very responsible, and I helped her in the daycare. I helped care for children, raise them, and helped raise my younger siblings as well. And so I'm sort of a blend between those two characteristics, hard work and then caring for other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being on a farm, we were just talking about my father-in-law used to have a ranch, and we'd go up there and brand cows, and we'd bale hay and, help around. And I mean, it was just constant work all the time. All the time. Right? Did you ever like brand cows or anything like that? Or
my mom's side of the family had a ranch, so it was more cattle and livestock and horses. So I did have the experience of the branding process, but I was pretty little at that point in time. So I didn't have to actually do it myself, but it was very much part of my family and my upbringing. Okay. I had a lot of friends that had dairy farms as well. So I grew up milking cows. Really? Because if we could go get the chores done, then we could go play faster. Okay. So I was more than willing to help them with their chores so that we could go have fun.
Yeah. So when you were younger, did you have to get up early and get like you said, get all these chores done, if you will? Yeah. And then you had the rest of the day to do what you needed to.
To do what was needed, yeah. Yep. Right
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you talk about work ethic. I think, what I see like with my clients, even one of the struggles I'm seeing is a lot of them struggle just working hard. Mm-hmm. Like putting in the work, like here's the answers, here's what you need to do to change, here's what you can do to heal, if you will. And I just see sometimes just this lack of work ethic. So what a gift that you got and learned at such a young age.
Oh yeah, it is a gift, and I'm very grateful for my parents for teaching me that. Yeah, that's been really a big part of what made me who I am today. Right. And then that caring side, coming in from my mom and the things that she taught me was really powerful as well. My dad gave me a nickname when I was a child that still stuck for today. He still calls me this, but he calls me Dr. Laura because I was always wanting to play doctor and take care of people. Yeah. And obviously like he nailed it because that's what I do now is is I'm in the health and wellness business.
Right.
And I really do that as a professional as well. So
yeah. Dr. Laura.
Dr.
That
Laura.
is hilarious.
Yes. And for clarification, I am not a doctor.
Right.
But yeah. And, and I could have been, because I was also a really hard worker in school. I was a straight A student, and I was actually planning to go that route. My uncle is a plastic and reconstructive surgeon, and so I would help him. I shadowed with him in high school. I had some projects where I would kind of work alongside him and get to know what he did. And I was really fascinated in healthcare. In fact, as a young child, I would read, health magazines, and I was really fascinated in physiology, how the body worked.
Oh, wow.
And so I was reading books like that at like 7, 8 years old.
Wow, that's amazing.
And that's carried through to today too, because I really am fascinated with how we work as humans, from a physical perspective, but also consciousness perspective and mental health and well-being perspective too.
Yeah, I love that. What a great combo for you to have, and what the world lacks right now, in my opinion, in so many ways: work ethic and caring. Right? We see a lot of lack in that in so many different directions. And obviously there's a lot of lessons you learned from your parents growing up, those two that we just talked about. Are there any others that stand out to you? There's some other things that you learned from your parents?
Just to be a good person, treat others with respect and kindness.
Yeah.
I think that comes naturally to me too, because I'm naturally a very compassionate person.
Yeah.
And I have deep empathy for others.
Yeah.
I'm very sensitive energetically too, so I feel when other people are suffering and going through a hard time. Yeah.
I guess some would say obviously that's a gift, but maybe sometimes it feels like a curse though, because you're feeling the emotions, and some of them can be really heavy, right?
Yeah. And in fact, that leads me to another big part of my childhood too, is with my gifts of being really empathetic. I have really strong intuitive abilities, and that's a big part of my practice and what I do now. And a lot of that came on really strong when I was a child. I had a lot of intuitive gifts. In fact, I grew up in a haunted house, and I dealt with a lot of really, at the time, very scary things.
Wow.
And I was picking up on things, occasionally would see people. And so I really struggled with that from like age maybe 7 till 11 or 12.
Well, yeah. I mean, one, you're young, you're so young. You're like, what's going on here?
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And,
wow.
but it leads into to what I do today too. But, I remember praying almost every night, like, please make this go away. Please make this stop. And finally one night I changed my prayer. I said, God, please take away my ability to know that spirit is here. And it went away overnight.
Really?
It was a miracle.
Wow.
Yeah. However, a good part of those intuitive abilities, that was kind of why I was here. It was, they were superpowers that I was meant to use in this lifetime.
Wow.
And it wasn't until I went through my whole health journey in my 20s that those really started to come back into my life, because I had shut them down so much when I was a child. I was scared of them.
Sure.
And going back to that empathy part, I'm a clairsentient. So it's like an empath 10 times 1,000.
Times 1,000, right.
So I'm very sensitive to energy. When someone walks into the room and they've got a hurt shoulder, I can sometimes feel it.
Wow. Did you feel anything in here?
No, you're good
like,
in
boy,
here.
Todd's a mess.
No, you're totally good.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. And it's funny because I've learned to have these abilities and turn them on and off.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not doing any sort of reading of energy.
I want you to turn them on right now. Turn them on, and then at the end of this, you can go, okay, Todd, here's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
I would love that, honestly. But how cool though, honestly. I think that is amazing. Obviously, when you're a kid, you don't know what's going on. It could be very scary, obviously. But what a gift. I mean, I've always thought of this, and this is where I'm getting a little giddy. I'm sorry, Laura. I'm just like, because there was always a part of me that wanted to have that gift. I always wanted to be able to be able to see things, see spirits, see people that have maybe passed and come back and that kind of thing, and maybe get messages, kind of like a medium.
Yeah.
Is that, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever done medium work, that kind of stuff?
I've never done it.
Okay.
It's not really the thing that I want to do.
Okay.
I'm more into using it for
Yeah.
medical intuition abilities
Gotcha.
and really helping people get to the root cause of some of their issues. But I do have those abilities. I just choose not to use them very often. And I refer that part out.
This might sound weird, but I'm just totally blown away right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, seriously, it's making me just feel really cool to be sitting in your presence.
Well,
seriously, I really mean that. Thank you for sharing that. I
don't talk about it often.
Yeah, but I appreciate that. And again, I don't want to pry too much, but I'm really excited to hear that you have those gifts. I've had a few other people on my show as well who they have the gift as well as seeing people who have passed, and they've had some near-death experiences as well, and they've come back and shared. Anyway, so I just really get into that kind of stuff. It kind of gets me going.
Oh, good.
I kind of love that stuff. And
really glad.
We had a friend growing up who his grandparents' house, he would always say it's haunted. So we went over there and slept over. We're like, no, it's not haunted. But then there were some things that would start to happen. We're like, okay, maybe it's haunted. We'd be a little freaked out, So that stuff has always intrigued me. But I love that you said that you're using this for healing and for good, which is great.
Absolutely.
You went through a health journey, you said, in your 20s.
Yeah.
Do you mind sharing what that was like and what that was?
Absolutely. So that hard work ethic continued to carry with me through into adulthood. And it was almost a bad thing because I was burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah.
I wasn't taking care of myself. And then with that caregiver characteristic that I have as well, I was taking care of other people, but not myself. And so that was a big health journey that I had to go through, was learning that. And it all came to a head when I was 28 years old and I got diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer, and at the time I also had Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disorder of the thyroid too. But luckily, they say that thyroid cancer is one of the easiest to deal with. If you're going to get cancer, that's the one you want, although you'd never want cancer.
Never want cancer. But again, that's one that's more treatable. It's more easily treatable. Successful. Yeah,
yep, exactly. So I had my thyroid surgically removed.
Okay.
And I worked with a surgeon that decided that I would be okay without doing that radioactive iodine treatment. He's like, let's just watch it and see. And so far, 10 years later, I have not had to do any further treatment, and I've stayed cancer free. Wow. Yeah.
What a blessing. 10 years later. Congrats. That's
thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah. Wow. Because you never know. You're like you said, you never want
know.
cancer. That's that word's scary for anyone, and no matter what it is. But yeah. So thankfully that you're still going strong and things are good. And
exactly.
So as you're going through this, was this, had you already decided beforehand that you wanted to kind of be in the healing space and to help people navigate, their struggles with anxiety, depression, but also some of these other things that you mentioned?
Yeah. So I had worked in healthcare. So at the time when I got my cancer diagnosis, I was working in physician staffing. Okay. So I was more on the business side of it. And I was working for one of the largest physician staffing companies in the country. Okay. And I was representing them for their bigger accounts. So I would fly around the country and meet with healthcare executives, physician, heads of departments for physicians, and help them with their recruiting to find doctors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I still was in the healthcare field, but I never ended up going working one-on-one individually with people. Although I still had that desire and that drive to do that, I just ended up going a different direction. Gotcha. For when I got my diagnosis. However, so 1 year later, after my cancer diagnosis, is when I really started to take a deeper dive on my own health. Because when someone says that you're cancer free, you would expect to, feel good. Yeah. Yeah, I'm healthy, I'm healed.
Yeah.
but I was still dealing with anxiety, depression, trying to keep that autoimmune disorder in check as well.
Yeah.
I had chronic back pain too, and diagnosed with scoliosis at age 11, so curvature of the back.
Yeah.
And I had been in and out of chiropractors' offices from my early teen years all through my 20s, and it was just manageable.
Right.
But I started to explore different healing modalities that I could use in addition to what Western medicine gives us, and also just general health care and maintenance.
Right. Okay.
So I was introduced to this modality called BodyTalk, and I went initially for my back pain because they said that it would help with that because it was created by a chiropractor. And so there's a lot of really good physical musculoskeletal balances built into it.
Okay.
And one of the first balances that the practitioner did was actually for my thyroid because I had it removed. And if you think about it, the body's an energetic electrical system.
Yeah.
And if you take a part out, it has to rewire itself and you have to recirculate that energy.
Yeah.
So she immediately identified that I had to basically compensate for the energetics of the thyroid that was no longer there. And when she was balancing it out, I had this very vivid memory from a situation I was in where I was strangled by someone that I trusted. And and I immediately got very emotional. And it was like I was reliving that experience. And it was in that moment that I realized the significant importance of mind-body connection and how we can store our traumas in our body.
Yeah.
And that was held there. And so it made me think, there's probably a lot of things that led to me actually developing cancer, but I know without a doubt that experience somehow was related to me getting cancer there.
Wow. Had you have forgotten about being strangled until you had this experience, or did you something you had always remembered?
I had always remembered it, but had moved past that
moved
experience.
On, yeah. So was it almost like a blockage once it was removed, like your body wasn't flowing like it should, and so therefore this person helped you kind of like, I guess, rewire it, like you said.
Rewire it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you start noticing a difference in the way you felt as this process was taking place?
Immediately.
Really?
Yeah. So I felt like a weight had been lifted after I left that session. And she did actually work on my back quite a bit. And I was so blown away by that experience that I went a couple more times.
Yeah.
And then my back pain was gone. And I'm like, what is this modality?
This is great.
Because you can use it for all kinds of things. And so I went back to her and helped work through some other traumas I'd been through. Really helped with my anxiety and depression. It just lifted, it dissipated. It was a miracle.
That is amazing.
Yeah. And it transformed my life so much that I decided to become a practitioner after.
You're like, hey, I'm going to do this to help other people.
Yep.
One of the most common things I have with my clients I deal with is their anxiety and depression's off the charts. And obviously there's a lot of reasons why. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that because, so many people, millions of people suffer from it every single day. Even, I have a client right now. She's 11 years old or 12 years old, and just the anxiety for this poor little girl is off the charts to the point where it's debilitating. Can't get up, won't go to school, can't do this, won't hang out with friends. And just love to hear your thoughts on, what you see and why this is such a big problem for people.
Yeah. So it's how we're responding to our environment, really.
Okay.
And there's everyone has their own unique journey, their own unique story. And one is not worse than the other. Like, we all feel the way we feel for a reason, and it should never be minimized. But I think one challenge is that some people have a hard time understanding why they're anxious or why they're depressed. They might be able to pinpoint one or two things here and there, but it's until you really uncover it from like an energetic or state of consciousness perspective,
Okay.
that you can really help to rewire some of those things. So you mentioned that you had a client that was really struggling with that, and I've worked with teenagers that have come to me and their parents have, you know, said, "Hey, I don't know what else to do here." They can't even go to school. Like they're
right.
that they're struggling that much.
Mm-hmm.
So I have one client that came to me a couple years ago. She was a junior in high school when we started working together, and she was having debilitating migraines, anxiety attacks, couldn't even walk. She was in a wheelchair for a bit and had to ultimately shift to homeschooling or online school. And I can tell you that the year we worked together, by the end, she ended up she transitioned to an alternative high school, but she graduated early, got a job, went through school. She is thriving right now. And it is so cool to see her transformation because everyone's different. So I can't really say that it's a specific thing, because anyone that comes to see me, every session is completely different. There's not a single like formula that I have that is the same for every person.
Yeah, because everyone's different, like you said.
Yeah, you have to really dive into their story and figure out what is going on that's causing that anxiety or depression.
Yeah.
But it's all healable.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yes.
That's good to know. So you make this conscious decision. I'm going to go in this direction. And here you are doing all these amazing stuff now. So why don't you talk about that journey of, so what exactly do you do for people who may not understand, you know, like if someone, you know, why would someone come to you? What would be the reasons other than what we just talked about?
Yeah. So people can come to me for anything really. And this is where it's hard, because they say, you know, in business, you should niche down and you should find your target market and like be really specific. I can help anyone with anything as it relates to physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual growth and development. But I would say the general most common themes are stress management, chronic pain, autoimmune disorder, and medical mysteries. Those are probably my big top ones. Oh, and sleep. Sleep is a big one too.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sleep is a big thing, isn't it? I mean, I think we take for granted how important that is.
Yes, it is critical.
Let's talk about, man, this is I'm excited about all these things, but let's talk about sleep for a minute, because again, I have my clients, when they check into like our facility here, the number one thing that they're struggling with, their sleep habits are way out of whack. I mean, their circadian rhythm's off. I mean, they're up till 2 a.m. Sometimes they don't sleep for 2 days. Sometimes they're sleeping all day. I mean, it's completely, just, unhealthy, obviously. What we try and do is we keep them here long enough to get a new pattern back, a natural pattern that's normal. Tell us a little bit about sleep and what you notice, and why is sleep so important for our overall health?
Well, sleep is when we regenerate. It's when we heal, do a lot of our healing, and it helps to just rebuild the body. Yeah. Rebuild, repair, and also process. I also work with a lot of Chinese medicine too. So you look at the Chinese clock, and there's 12 meridians, and every 2 hours, you've got this energy that's peaking in one of those meridians, and every 2 hours it switches. So you've got, for example, the gallbladder meridian is really active from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. And then it switches to liver from 1 to 3. Really? And then 3 to 5 is lung. So there's all of those things that are processing while you're sleeping, and it's really critical that you are asleep during that time in order for it to be the most optimized. Right. Obviously, some people work nights and it's a different schedule for them, and that's fine too, but it's really helping to acclimate to whatever that circadian rhythm is supposed to be for that person. Gotcha. So I do a lot of work with the circadian rhythm, but another big thing with sleep is it all boils down to stress management. Okay. It's like if you're able to manage your stress better, you're going to end up sleeping better too. Yeah. Yeah, I find that in my own life. Yeah, that's fascinating. You mentioned medical mysteries. Give us a little more information on that. That sounds intriguing. Yeah, so I've had a lot of people come to me that are struggling to find results within Western medicine, and they'll go to one doctor that, says one thing and another doctor says another thing. One person that's coming to mind, one client, was diagnosed with MS and also Graves' disease. And the neurologist was pointing at, the symptoms to the Graves' disease. The endocrinologist was pointing to the neurologist and saying, hey, it's this issue. So, and I think she had been to 16 doctors before she came to me.
Wow.
But I can tell you that she's almost 100% back to normal at this point.
Wow.
She'll have occasional tingling in her hands, but that's about it.
And is this putting through the BodyTalk technique?
Through the BodyTalk technique.
Okay.
Yeah. And just to be clear, I do not treat, prevent, diagnose.
Right.
Or anything like that. What I do is I observe and help to rewire how the body is able to heal itself. So I'm just an observer.
Yeah,
really.
Right, sure.
People refer to me as a healer, and I am, but
Dr. Laura, right?
Yeah, but I am just looking at what needs to be shifted and rewired.
No, I think that is fascinating.
Yeah,
it's so cool. Tell us about My Natural Healer. What's that?
Yeah, so that I created when I was early in my journey as well, exploring different healing modalities after I was a year after being diagnosed cancer-free.
Right.
I'm like, there's got to be more to this because I still feel like crap. Like I'm still anxious, I'm depressed, I'm dealing with all of these things, physical aches and pains. And so I started to look at all these other modalities and I'm like, you know what? It would be really cool if there's a place where people could go to find healers of all kinds and of all different modalities, some of which are these ancient systems that have been around for thousands of years that somehow we've forgotten about, at least in Western culture. And there's all these people that are there to help other people around the world. And so I built this directory, and it's a blog too, to educate people on different things that they can be aware of to help heal themselves. Also just connect with people in their local community or people that do online healing as well.
I like that.
Yeah.
So if I was struggling with a certain thing, I could look through this directory and find other people who are going through the same thing. And here's what worked for me. Is that what that means? Yeah. You
have to be a little bit careful about what making medical claims and things like that. But at least you're able to look at, what is available and what to try. Because I think a big part of healing is just really being open.
Yeah.
Open to trying something new, open to thinking outside the box, because that's often where we find our answers.
I want to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to the incredible sponsors of the Beliefcast podcast. First, Craig from Craig Swap and Associates. If you need an attorney, he's your guy. Trustworthy, compassionate, always there when you need him most. Next, Wasatch Recovery, the greatest university on the planet, transforming lives one day at a time. Sandy from Minky Couture, the creative genius behind the most comfortable blanket you'll ever wrap yourself in. Comfort like no other. Special thanks to the award-winning pianist Paul Cardall for his beautiful music that brings inspiration to every episode. Yeah, I love that. You hear this a lot too, where someone's going through some medical thing and medical issue and they're struggling, and a lot of times it's their own research that where they found the answer to the problem, not necessarily going to the doctor itself, right?
Yep.
And they present this to the doctor. Well, what about this? And it's like, well, we didn't think of that, and sure enough, that was the thing they needed to heal.
Yes.
Right. Hear that all the time, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It's amazing
and that was
what you do.
The case with me.
Yeah.
I had to do my own research, and that's where I found BodyTalk and other modalities too, because it's not just about that. But My Natural Healer has all the modalities besides what just I do. And also I realized that as a practitioner, not everyone's going to resonate with me, but also I'm just one person.
Right.
I can't heal the world on my own.
Right.
If I can do something to help people connect with the right person for them, then we can really heal a lot of people.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I agree. We all need each other. We all need to pitch in, that kind of thing. I think that's fantastic. Well, you've been through a lot in your life. You mentioned the cancer, but you also, you shared this with me off the air, but what your sister went through. Do you mind just sharing a little bit about it? You don't have to give us all the details, but just kind of a little background on what happened there.
Yeah. So my sister, younger sister, ended up getting addicted to Oxy and other things too, alcohol, and she was really struggling for a lot of years. My family didn't realize how bad it was, but she ended up one Christmas. She actually ended up stealing some of my brother-in-law's pills because he was waiting to have back surgery, and was very conservative with them, and it was pretty apparent that she had gone in and stole them, and we had to have a family intervention. And she was we learned this after the fact that she was actually recommended for inpatient treatment, but she lied to us and told us that she was only referred to outpatient treatment.
Okay.
And I think that's where ultimately we kind of missed the opportunity there, because she wasn't really stable enough to do that.
Okay.
But she was going to outpatient care. I was talking with her a lot at the time too, and really encouraging her. Our whole family was like, and all of us just really got behind her. Like the thing is we would have paid for the inpatient care.
Sure.
And she didn't want us to do that.
Oh.
And so it was a struggle, but ultimately she just decided that she couldn't do it anymore, and she took her own life, which was really unfortunate. That was 6 years ago.
Okay.
And just had her death anniversary a couple days ago.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that. And
yeah, thank you.
Prayers to you and your family.
Thank you.
And I deal with this all day long, and so many people, this happens a lot, believe it or not, is where they are recommended for inpatient, and the client will lie to the family because they don't want to burden the family. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, I'll just do the outpatient thing. That'll be enough for right now. And that's a tough thing. And
it is.
But thanks for sharing that. I know that's tough, and I'm glad you did, because again, a lot of my listeners are tuning in because they are either struggling with addiction or they've got a family member who's going through it, and so obviously you guys have felt it firsthand with what you went through.
Yeah, and my sister was a very loving, caring person as well, and I'm sure once she passed, she realized, like, wow, if I had known what it was going to do to my family, I would have never done this.
Right.
And also, had she known that we were all there and ready and willing to help, I don't think she would have done it either. Yeah. And so I would say that that's a really strong message that I would want to share with people is just, hey, people care about you. You are important, and you and your own uniqueness is making the world a better place. Yeah. And I just want everyone to know that they matter, and that there's people here and willing to help.
Right. No, great message. Thank you. Yeah. And again, this is, we need each other. And I think I see this a lot too, when someone's struggling. I don't know what it is, but the last thing we want to do is tell someone or reach out. It's almost like, no, I don't want to burden that person. Right. And so I love your message, because no, it's not a burden. Please tell us. Yep. We're going to help walk you through that. So again, great message. If you're struggling, please tell someone, raise your hand, say, I need some help. And there'll be a lot of people around you that will support that. So, you do a lot of healing and stuff. Do you heal people who go through something like this, where they lose a loved one, or
you
absolutely
help
people with that as well?
I've helped a lot of people through grief, and really people come to me with the worst things that have ever happened in their life. They're coming to me with, and maybe they're not in rock bottom at the time, but we uncover a lot of trauma, because if that isn't dealt with in the moment, it can be stored in the body. Yeah. Emotions are chemical in nature. They're neuropeptides, and they can be actually stored in the tissues and the organs of the body. Right. And that can ultimately end up creating disruptions of the physical function too.
Gotcha. Wow. Yeah. Well, thank you. And I love that you are doing that, and you're helping other people. And so I'm going to go back to something earlier you said, and I hope this isn't asking too much, but you mentioned, you have this gift. You noticed it when you were a young kid, and you at the time didn't want it, and you finally got your answer to your prayer, if you will, that took it away for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But you mentioned that you can turn it off or on.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind if I just ask, like, how do you turn it on or off? Is that okay to ask that question?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. So I would say anyone that's really intuitive or, even called psychic, they're just really good meditators.
Okay.
So you have to just get into a really optimal meditative state in order to tap into that. That's how I turn it on and off.
Okay.
And so I spend a huge part of my day in meditation.
Okay.
Like I meditate anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour every morning, just on my own. And then
like to start your day, is that
just to start my day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And just to connect into source and just really help connect.
Okay.
And then during sessions, essentially BodyTalk practitioners, they're medical intuitives because we're reading the energy of the body and figuring out what is top priority for health and healing. And we just work through the list. It's like whatever people come to us with symptoms, we kind of put it on a shelf, say, okay, yeah, we need to address this. But ultimately, what does the body mind need for healing?
Love that.
And I can tell you that if anyone comes in with anxiety, that is the first thing to go, because you can't heal when you're in stress mode. When you're in that sympathetic state, that fight, flight, freeze, faint mode, you can't heal there. You have to shift over to parasympathetic.
Yeah. That's why I like a good cold plunge. Puts me right in that boom.
Yeah, that is a good
anxiety's out the window.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful. And when you get in this meditative state in the morning, do you start seeing, spirits and things like that?
My strongest abilities are clairsentience and claircognizance. Clairsentience translates to feeling. It's a heightened intuitive ability for feeling, so you feel a lot more, like 1,000 times an empath.
Jeez, that's intense,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. And then with claircognizance, it's clear knowing. So it's the best way I can describe this is it's like I'm getting full sentences through my gut. So when I'm in a session, I'm actually talking a lot. I'm explaining as I go, but I'm getting information so fast through my gut that it's almost hard to keep up sometimes because it's like so much that's coming through. Yeah. But it's different because it's not like hearing with your ears. It's just tuning into the gut and you just know the words.
That's
the
amazing.
words just come.
Wow.
Yeah.
When you're done with, like, say, a session with a client like that and you're just flowing, do you ever, like, afterwards just be like, oh, that was amazing? Like, I mean, you probably are so used to it at this point, but I mean, that seems like amazing to me.
It is really, really cool.
Is it tiring? Are you, like, exhausted after a session? Like that kind of thing?
I have so many people that ask me that. It's a good question because I'm dealing with people that come to me with some really hard things.
Yeah, I bet.
And I have been trained so well to take a step back, and I'm just there to observe, so it doesn't energetically entangle me. And it actually sets up protections for not only myself but also the client too, so that we're not exchanging energy.
Oh, really?
And I'm really just coming in as an observer, because quantum physics tells us that it's the act of observation that changes the outcome. And that's why what I do works, is because I'm able to observe things in a way that helps to remind the body mind how to, heal or function on a more optimal level. I will tell you, the hardest thing that I've had to go through as a practitioner is really being unattached from the outcome, because 98% of my clients have really great results fairly quickly.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, someone will come to me that struggles with a particular thing. And we'll get results in a lot of areas of their life, but there's like one thing that's just kind of a little stubborn. Yeah. And there's one experience that really taught me this lesson of that I'm not in charge, and it's not my job to heal them. Sure. So I had a client that came to me. She had breast cancer that ended up spreading to the rest of her body. So she had tried all the treatments, and they basically said, there's nothing else we can do for you. It's spread through your whole body. And so she bought a 3-pack session with me. We did a couple sessions and kind of got her working through fear of death, because ultimately they're like, you don't have very much time left.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And we had scheduled that third session and had it on the books. And by the time that time rolled around, she was on hospice and was pretty much unresponsive.
Oh, wow.
And so I had reached out to the family and said, hey, I had scheduled this session with your mom. I can still do it remotely and just send you guys the recap if that's okay. Because I generally do them over Zoom because I like to interact that way.
Okay.
And they said, yeah, sure, go ahead. FYI, the hospice team said she has hours to live, not days, hours. She's really shutting down. And so I ended up doing the session and sent the recap. And the next day they said that her lips were starting to heal. And then a day later, she was starting to respond. And 3 days after that, she was out of bed.
What?
And
wow.
And it was shocking because it was a full blown miracle. And, it was a 15-minute session. Like normally I'm 30 minutes, but I was doing the balances and I just got this, stop, that's enough. And
this was all remotely, by the way.
This is all remotely.
And is it because the power of the word you're speaking is helping align?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because I believe words have power.
Words have power.
Right?
They have their own torsion fields, so they'll actually create energy.
Okay. But
time and space don't matter when you're dealing with the quantum. And so even though we were hundreds of miles apart and I was doing it remotely, it is so easy for me to connect in with a person that they don't even have to be like on a call with me or anything like that.
That's amazing.
So so I sent the recap, and you know what? She lived really well for 5 months. She traveled, she spent time with her family. She, went on trips. She witnessed another granddaughter being born.
Yeah.
And she had a great time. And then when it was time to go, her family actually reached out to me again, and we did another session for her to help her transition. But it was in that moment when I realized, wow, she just healed and she was on her deathbed. It was that moment that I realized that it is not up to me. And whatever their healing journey is about, it's between them and God. And the outcome is what it is. And all I can do is be a clear channel so that I can receive the information as clearly as possible, observe what needs to be shifted, and the rest is up to the divine.
Wow. Incredible story. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gives me chills. Yeah, it's beautiful. Well, what a gift, and what an amazing job you have.
I love my job. It's the best in the world.
I bet you do. That's amazing. Do you also though see clients face to face, or you prefer the remote?
I have done in person a few times in the 7 years I've been doing this.
Sure, you've been doing it a long time.
Yeah. But I've gotten so busy with just word of mouth and virtual sessions over Zoom that it almost starts to interfere when I do the in person. So I'm open to doing it someday, but at the moment I'm only virtual.
Yeah, you're getting too popular.
So yeah,
that's amazing. I love it. Well, so what's next for you? Is this like, hey, are you like kind of just like hitting your sweet spot in your career, love where you're at, and this is where I'm headed right now? Or do you have other plans you want to do? Any other things you're working on? Any other projects?
So light and wellness, I'm still really in my career. Yeah. One thing with having thyroid cancer, the throat and the thyroid is all about self-expression. It's about speaking your truth. It's about communication. And so that is one thing that I'm trying to do better about is putting myself out there, because I am busy enough to just do word of mouth and almost like be a closet healer. But I know for my own personal growth and development, I need to put myself out there more. So thank you for having me on this podcast, because
absolutely.
This is a one step in that direction of me just being more vocal about teaching people that they can heal themselves and that there's all of these possibilities and potentials out there for them with these different healing modalities, and also just helping to do what you're doing as well, and just teaching that like mental strength and helping with that positivity, because that all adds up.
It does. Wow. Well, no, this has been great to have you on. And a couple things. I'm reading a book right now called You Are the Placebo by Dr. Joe Dispenza. I don't know if you've read the book.
Great.
Oh my gosh. Love it. And then what really got me even more giddy about you when you mentioned quantum physics.
Yep.
Have you watched the double slit experiment?
Yeah.
That blows my mind.
That's the experiment that made them realize that it's the act of observation that changes the outcome, because matter can be both a particle and a wave. Depending on how it's observed.
That is the craziest. So I have this thing I printed off like 10 years ago on quantum physics. It's like quantum physics for dummies.
Love it.
Which is perfect for me. So but it's like 11 pages kind of explaining, just all of this stuff and where quantum, the double slit experiment and what that all means. And it is the coolest thing I've ever, I guess, tried to study. I still don't know anything, but I think, I believe what it taught me in reading that in quantum physics and all that stuff is that my words matter, and they do create certain things in my life. Right. And so I'm really careful in making sure I'm saying certain things and stopping to say other things and that kind of stuff, because I realize that. So anyway,
I think that's a really good point. Dr. Joe Dispenza has great work out there. Yeah. He's another good person to follow. But words are important, but also thoughts are important too. Yeah. Because thoughts, we spend a lot more time with our thoughts than we do our spoken word. Yeah. And your cells are listening. Yeah. Every cell in your body is listening to your thoughts. And so it's really important to talk nice to yourself.
That feels daunting, doesn't it? Kind
of. Yeah. But,
they're listening.
They're listening. But, it doesn't have to be daunting. It can be.
But see right there, look what I just did. Just by me saying it's daunting, my cells go, okay, it's daunting. Right?
Exactly.
Hello, Todd, wake up. Yeah, I know this.
And that's one thing that I think going through my training too, is it's really taught me to be observant, to see life without judgment. And just, if something catches your attention like that, isn't that interesting? Yeah. Because now you might have this perception of what's easy and what's hard, what's daunting and what's not. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. If someone's tuning in right now, listening to you, and they're in a dark space, dark time in their life, and they're not sure how to get out of it, what would you tell that one person listening to you right now?
I would say that you matter, that you and your own unique expression is what makes this world a better place. And I would also say that we all have struggles. It's a normal part of life, unfortunately. But it's our struggles that really help to build our superpowers. And you have the strength within you, because I don't think that we're given anything that we can't handle in life. But when you come out on the other side, you are going to be a changed person for the better. And I really just encourage you to keep going, and also ask for help, because there's so many people that are out there that are willing and ready to help you. And just make that phone call.
Yeah. Well said. Thank you for sharing that. If someone wants to reach out to you and learn more about what you do and kind of follow what you're doing, and what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah. So easiest way is my website, lightandwellness.com. The directory that we mentioned as well is mynaturalhealer.com. But you can get me as a practitioner at Light and Wellness.
Okay. I'll put that link in the show notes so they can click right to it and get right to you. And this has been an awesome conversation. I'm intrigued. You've perked my awareness around this in such a way. Thank you. And thank you for what you do. And it's so cool to see, your challenges have turned into, like you said, your gifts and your superpower. And now here you are giving back to people who need it. And what better career, like you said, you just love your job. And I love that you provide these kind of services that people need.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you for what you're doing too. I want to acknowledge you and all the work that you're doing.
I'm trying, right?
Thank you.
Plugging along. No, it's great. And I'm grateful for Julie to get us lined up and introduce us. And it's so cool how we can network and just start meeting amazing people. And I'm the lucky one because I get to sit here with you face to face and hear this great story and all the great you're doing. But I can't wait for my listeners to hear this. And I encourage all my listeners to share this episode with their family and their loved ones. And if you have a friend or a coworker or a son or a daughter who's struggling, send them a link to this episode, let them listen to it, and then reach out to Laura and get some help. She can walk you through some things and make a difference. So again, one last thank you to you. Thanks for all your time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in. I love you. Thank you for all your support. Again, to my sponsors, thank you for believing in me. And until next time, we'll talk to you guys soon. Love you.